Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another tips and tricks tutorial type of video. So I am a cosplayer. I primarily make a lot of cosplay skits on this channel, but one of my favorite type of videos to make in cosplay is CMVs. CMV stands for cosplay music video, and it can describe basically any kind of video that is cosplay in any form put to a song. I have made 4 CMVs now, and I thought today I'd go through how I go about planning them. All of my YouTube content and all of my cosplay content as a whole is done solely by me. In all of my videos, whether it be something very simple to film or something a little more complex, I am director, writer, cameraman, lighting operation, costume, wig styling, makeup. I do everything. When filming things that are a bit more complex, such as the CMVs that I have done, it's really important to plan how I'm going to do them and how to pull them off in a way that I can manage on my own. So I have my own method of outlining CMVs in a way that I can follow it along to make sure that when I'm filming I'm not missing any shots that I was planning on filming, and to keep me on track of what's getting filmed for where and all of that stuff. And so I thought I'd share that process with you guys in case it could be helpful for anyone else. Firstly, I want to talk about the kind of different styles of CMVs that exist and all the different types of shots and aesthetics and ideas that can go into making a CMV. The first type to cover is more narrative story-based CMVs. These are usually larger productions that may feature multiple characters, and through the song that the images are being put to, it tells a narrative story. Some examples of this would be Weeb Chapel's fabulous work on Mama's Gun, which is one of my all-time favourite songs, and I discovered it through this CMV, and the cinematography in that video. It's a Villain Deku AU CMV, and it takes you on a story. Another My Hero Academia example, but it is one called Renegades. I apologise that I don't know how to pronounce the channel name, but oh my gosh, the production in this one is insane. As you can tell, I love making CMVs. I also love watching CMVs. I'm very passionate about this. While these are very extreme examples of very high-end productions, of course there can be a lot simpler than this. The other type is how I like to refer to it as like cosplay showcases. There's not necessarily a narrative or anything to show. It's based a lot on cinematography and aesthetics, and it's very focused on the cosplay itself and setting. It's usually just something you watch and you're like, damn, that's cool. A lot of Ovi-san's work, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but their CMVs that they have done are primarily this type of just showing off really cool characters in cosplay. So I'll link their channel down below. Then we have the example of kind of ship content, which it's basically cosplayers making out. It is still a very valid type of CMV, but it's not something I'm going to be going into much, considering like I said, I make all my content myself. I'm not really going to be making out with myself. I don't think I'm going to leave any examples down below like I'm going to do for the other ones, just in case there's anyone who's like too young watching this. Because some of them can be quite wholesome and cute, and other ones are a little more on the spicy side. Lastly, we have ones that are just mainly focused on lip syncing. These are just that you pick a song that is reminiscent with a character, and as the character, you lip sync to the lyrics. I recently did this as a Jinx CMV to the song Mad Hatter, and aesthetically it looked really cool. I edited it in one day, which is a bad idea, and is my explanation as to why some of it is out of sync. Maybe no one will notice. The only another one I can think of off the top of my head is I think Little Boffin have done some like this. CMVs usually either fall into one of these categories or somewhere in between. So now that everyone's familiar with what I'm referring to when I talk about a CMV and the different things that CMVs can be, talk about how to plan one. So first off, you always have to start with an idea. For me, it's always a song and a character. I listen to a lot of music. I'm someone who's very, I visualize a lot of stuff when listening to music, and sometimes I'll align with a character that I cosplay and I'm like, let's write this one down. So you always got to start with a song and a character. or a song and a story for the character to follow. It's usually either the tone of the song or the lyrics that will match the character. So usually in my head I can sort of envision different scenes or ideas if I were to make a music video for it. And then when I decide that it is something that I would like to do, I sit down and I put the song on a loop and I write down kind of everything that I can envision. From that, it's sort of the process of culling what I can realistically achieve, what's gonna look better, how it's gonna all flow together. When planning, it's really important to be realistic about what you can pull off, whether that's budget-wise, equipment-wise, time-wise. That's a big one. I have a lot of like really high-end ideas that I would one day love to do, but I'm not really in a position to have the time to dedicate to pulling them off to a level I would be happy with and satisfied with, and so I haven't made them yet. When you've got a song in mind, it's important to remember copyright. Almost every song has copyright, and YouTube is going to take that one way or another. Majority of songs you can use under fair use, and YouTube will allow you to post it without any copyright strikes. You just won't get any monetization out of it. This has never really bothered me or affected me because my channel isn't monetized yet. You can go through the process of trying to get permission to use the song through the artist or the recording studio, but that is a very, very long process, so you really got to plan far in advance if that's something you're wanting to do. What I do to double check how YouTube's going to respond to the copyright, because majority of the time YouTube will be like, hey, orgy, we're just going to share some revenue with the artist. Occasionally there are some artists who put up like a blanket no. To check how YouTube is going to respond to the song that I'm using, I export a video with the audio of the song and then I'll go to upload it. I do it on my like spare Gmail YouTube account, just to see in the copyright section of the upload page what's going to come up. And if it's no copyright strikes to my channel, then I can go ahead with it. There's probably a better way to do this and to check this, but I don't really know any other way. So once I've got my ideas going and I know that my channel isn't going to be affected by using the song, I jump into my Word document where I've been doing my brainstorming and I set out a table where one side is the lyrics to the song and the other side is what I'm visualizing, what's going to be happening while that part of the song is playing. Like with regular music videos, there's going to be scenes that are used repetitively throughout the song that cut back and forth between. So let's have a look at how I did this for my High School Sweetheart CMV, which is my favorite one that I have done. So I had scenes such as this one which were used throughout the music video. I had it put under Monica, under blue lighting, lip syncing, and then if there was anything especially I wanted to add to that, I might put horror imagery flickers onto screen. I then had the scene of Monica laying on the floor, I had Monica dancing to the song, and then I had these more occasional scenes of the horror imagery. And I also had this intro where the lighting changed. So I had to map out where I wanted these pieces of footage to be used throughout the song. So I have everything put out onto my table, and once it's all laid out, I then color code it. All the parts that are going to be Monica lip syncing under blue lighting, I'm going to highlight all of those as blue. All of the parts that are Monica dancing are going to be pink. All of the horror things are going to be red. That way I can follow along what parts are going to be what. And once that's done, I print it out. Having a printed out copy I find to be helpful because it's easier for me to mark out what I filmed on paper than on my laptop, and then I have to keep my laptop on and hanging around. If I've got it printed out, I can just tick off on the side of the table that, yep, I filmed this bit, I filmed this bit, I filmed this bit, and then before I stop filming, before I get out of cosplay, go through and check I've filmed everything I need to film that day. Because there's nothing worse than being like, oh yeah, I've got everything up here, and then you get out of cosplay, you relax, and then, oh, there was that little bit that I needed to film, but I don't really want to get into cosplay just to film that, but oh, I need it for the CMV. This system stops that happening for me. I didn't, my printer sucked at the time, which is why this isn't color-coded like in the Word doc, and instead I've got highlighter down the side of each table. And that should be the majority of your planning done. Of course you can go way more extensive with your planning, as planning out camera angles and lighting and things like that. And that's all your planning done. And now it's just time for a crazy amount of editing. Editing is sometimes the point where your planning just goes out the window. Sometimes a shot doesn't look the way you want it to look, so you replace it with another, and suddenly you're reordering all the clips from how you originally had it planned. This happened for my Until It Doesn't Hurt CMV. There were a lot of moments in that video where it was supposed to be some other thing I had planned. Instead it was that one lip syncing shot done for a straight 30 seconds because I couldn't get the idea I had to work. Part of it was that I wanted to film these walking shots and I just couldn't pull them off filming them on my own, like walking with a camera, trying to keep it steady, but also not look at the camera, and I just couldn't realistically film it to make it look good, and so all the parts that had that got cut out. The ending part, which is the part that I kind of like worked the hardest on and really wanted to do, still came out cool, which I was so glad of. To know I didn't go to Kmart and print off pictures of Umbrella Academy characters for nothing. You do really have to think realistically about what you can pull off, because the ideas in your head can sometimes just be so big. Do you have space to film? Do you have someone helping you? Can you move enough in your cosplay to be able to reset scenes and move cameras and lights? The 2 Evil CMV I filmed, which was my first ever CMV, it was my baby. I had to move all of my equipment and backdrops up to my house. Where I'm filming right now, where everything is set up, is a granny flat. And so I had to move everything up to the house to film the mirror shots that I did, so I had a wide enough mirror. I was so flustered and tired from moving everything around and setting it up that I was making mistakes with my filming and with what way I turned my head and where I put the blue blood on my face. So having someone to keep you on track and help you can be very helpful. I don't have that, so instead I have color-coded tables and blooper reels of me just swearing at myself.
Sit in your heels, you whiny bitch.
And with that, I think that's all the advice I have to give. If you have any questions on making CMVs, please leave them down in the comments below. I am in no way pretending to be an expert on how to make these. A lot of time, every time I referred to one of my own projects in this video, it was to critique it, So thank you guys very much for watching. Also let me know if you do enjoy more like tutorial style videos. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a like so I know you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe for all sorts of fun upcoming videos. Thank you once again for watching. Bye!